Well, today's been a little bit of a sort of random red letter day, if you like. The day was penciled in quite a while ago to do some filming, product filming. And you can't predict the weather. You don't know what the weather's going to be like or whether the fish are going to play ball. And as is the case when we do a lot of the filming, when you're doing the product stuff, you're not focusing on the rods. You know, the rods are secondary. You can put them out once the cameraman's gone home. But last week, I had a few fish out of here, nothing in the day on the longer zigs. So this time around, I thought I'd try the shorter zigs. Now, I use a lot of orange pop-ups when I'm fishing on the bottom in my solid bags. And this time around, I thought, you know what? Steer away from the reds, the colours that most people put out, and just put out orange. So I've gone for the fluoro orange zigger liner, orange foam, and I've just topped that off with a few maggots. Now, I got here a little bit before Brad this morning, put the rods out. I saw a fish, which is always a good indication no matter what time of year. Saw a fish, chucked 3 zigs in the general area. Now, 3-foot zigs, you've got to sort of keep your eye on them when they're going out, because obviously a shorter zig, they're more prone to tangling, but they don't tangle. You know, and they're out there fishing. Brad's turned up, we sat down having a chat. They've probably not been out there 15 minutes and it's just dropped back to the floor. Classic zig bite, middle rod, dropped back to the floor, bent into it, and straight away I knew it was a better fish. Now, I've had a lot of fish out of Linear, you know, and a lot of like decent fish, you know, like upper 20s and 30s, but when you hook a bigger one, you just sort of know it's that little bit bigger. They just feel different. Anyway, it was coming in, and I've found sort of like a general rule that a bigger fish, when you get them in the margin, for some reason they tend to like release oxygen and blow bubbles. The smaller ones just seem to dart around, but as it come in across the side of the peg, it was just popping a few bubbles, and I did think to myself then, you know, this does not feel big. Anyway, it rolled on the surface, and sure enough, you know, there it is, a rather large mirror, which you would take any time of the year, but in January it's even more special. As I was saying, I've had a lot of fish out of here. I've never had a 40 from Linear, and it is my dream to catch a 40, and I don't think I'll be able to leave it alone, and I'll have to keep coming until I catch one, because I so desperately want to catch one, and in the net it looked massive, but you know, I think sort of the excitement got the better of me. I did think it was a 40, but 38 pound 10, it's my second ever biggest carp from Linear, and to catch it on a day where you haven't really come to catch a carp, you've come to do work, makes it all the more sweeter, you know. And it was an absolutely stunning fish, big framed fish, and to catch it on a zig just shows that zigging isn't a small fish tactic. Oh, how about that for an absolute January chunk. I fished here last week up on B1, tried the longer zigs in the day, caught fish off the bottom at night, but I was just convinced that, you know, it hasn't been doing a lot of bites in the day, and you know, they're not obviously eating the bait and they're not higher up in the water. So this time around, as soon as I got here, shortened the zigs from last week down to sort of 3, 4 and a 5 foot, added a few maggots on top of a zigger liner, and this has literally been out there about 15 minutes. And what a way to start a session. 38 pound 10 ounces. Oh, I'm absolutely blown away. I can't believe it. Like I say, I've got 24 hours, so this is 15 minutes in. It'd be nice to get a few more, but if this is all I catch, I'm more than happy with that. The action went quiet, managed to get done what we needed to get done. The rain's come over, bit more wind, it's cooled off a little bit, and yeah, had a double take. One was probably, I don't know, mid upper double, and then another one was about 22, 23 pounds. So the pod of fish is still out there, but the question is now, what do I do tonight? Do I stick on the bottom, or do I stick on zigs? So I'm going to fish for probably another hour doing what I'm doing, and if it hasn't happened, I'm going to put some more bait out. But so, you know, when I started the day, obviously I didn't expect to catch anything because we wasn't here to catch fish, but to end the day on 3 fish is topped off by a 38 pounder is absolutely fantastic. Like, you know, that's more than I could have ever asked for, and it does, you know, it just shows that there's only what, 3 of us on here now. You know, there is bites to be had in the day, and when you are sat at home and you think, you know what, it isn't going to happen today, all the while you've got a rod in the water and you're sat watching the water, it doesn't take long to work something out, and it just, you know, really does show that if you're sat at home and you're thinking about going, you know, follow your heart, and maybe the thought of going should make you get on the bank, because there is definitely carp to be caught no matter the weather.